Today we are going to discuss from Srila Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita as it is from the first chapter, second and third words. So now in the yesterday's conversation, discussion,
Right.
Dhritarashtra actually asking Sanjaya what is actually happening in the battlefield of Kurukshetra.
Right.
Because he become curious because he don't know what is happening and he's also concerned the
Right.
auspiciousness of the land, Kurukshetra.
Right.
So Dharma Kshetra, where the people are get influenced because of its the place has a significance.
Religion.
Yeah.
Right.
The people go there, even if you are a sinful person, because of the influence of the place, they may become righteous people. So he's worried that his sons may become, they may start thinking that what they are doing is wrong. So they may want to compromise with Pandavas, which Dhritarashtra
Right.
did not want it to happen.
Right.
So Dhritarashtra is inquired from Sanjaya, Kim Akurvata. After my sons and my brother's sons assembled together for fighting, what did they do? This was the inquiry.
Right.
So to encourage him, see, because Sanjaya is with Dhritarashtra since many, many, many years, is a very trustworthy and faithful secretary to Dhritarashtra. So Sanjaya could understand the feelings of his master that he wanted the fight. No
To happen.
compromise. So that is a Kshatriya spirit too.
Right.
So Kshatriyas, their duty is to fight. When they go, especially for the war field, they don't want it
Right.
to turn their back.
Right.
So Dhritarashtra, let my sons and my brother's sons fight. That is a kind of Kshatriya spirit too. My sons
Right.
are 100. He is thinking that my sons are 100 in number, and
Right.
Pandavas are just 5.
Fine.
So certainly my sons will become victorious,
Right.
and then the kingdom will be assured. That was his plan. That is the reason he wanted the war
Fight
to
to
take
go.
place. Yeah. So Sanjaya, his secretary, would understand the feeling of Dhritarashtra. Of course, at last he would inform differently, but at this moment he wanted to give some assurance to his master. See, he definitely knows Sanjaya. He says at the end, Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, Yatra Yogeshwara Hari. At last he communicates to his master, my dear
Right.
sir, you do not expect victory. It is not possible because the other side,
Right.
Krishna is there, Yatra Yogeshwara Hari. And the fighter Arjuna is supported by Krishna.
Krishna.
So it is beyond your expectation to have a victory.
To win.
Yes.
Right.
But in the beginning, he just wanted to give a solace to his master.
Right.
So he said that don't be discouraged. There is no compromise.
Right.
So immediately your son Duryodhana is addressing himself as a Raja.
Right.
Who is addressing himself as a Raja here? Duryodhana
Himself.
is addressed as a Raja.
Right.
So because Dhritarashtra would be encouraged when at least he thinks of his son becoming the king.
Has-
Therefore
Right.
he said Raja. So this is the nature of a servant, right? Faithful servant
Right.
wanted to give always pleasure to his master.
He is the master.
Yes. So Dushtwatu Pandu Pandavanikam. The Duryodhana did not expect that the Pandavas would be able to accomplish such a huge military strength so
Right.
nicely because they were bereft of all sources, right? Their kingdom
Right.
was taken away, their money was disrupted,
Right.
they were sent into the forest, so many tribulations. But the foolish Duryodhana did not know that above all, there was Krishna on their side.
Right.
that he could not calculate.
Hare.
Therefore, when he saw that Pandavas are all well equipped with good number of soldiers, Pandavanikam, he was little surprised that how they could gather so many soldiers. So immediately to consult the commander-in-chief Dronacharya, Duryodhana went to Dronacharya.
Hare.
Dronacharya was teacher for everyone.
Hare.
He's the Acharya. Acharya means a teacher.
Teacher.
Acharyam Upasangamya. He's a military teacher.
Right.
So Duryodhana, he was a military teacher of the Pandavas also. Dronacharya was a
Also.
military teacher of Pandavas also.
Right.
When Pandavas and Kauravas, they are all children, they were given they are put under the care of Dronacharya
Acharya.
for military education.
Right.
Dronacharya is actually a Brahmana, but he knows the
Right.
military art. Therefore, he was
Right.
appointed as a teacher for all these boys, the Kauravas
Right.
and Pandavas.
Right.
But Dronacharya, in the battlefield, taken the side of Duryodhana.
Right.
Bhishmadeva joined with Duryodhana. None of them actually joined with Arjuna, neither Dronacharya nor Bhishma, because
Right.
Arjuna or Maharaja Yudhishthira was not actually king at the time. The financial control was not in their hands. And these people,
Right.
sons of Dhritarashtra, they were on the government political power.
Right.
The financial control was in their hands. So they were giving enough money for maintenance to Dronacharya as well as Bhishmadeva.
Right.
So Bhishmadeva and Dronacharya both felt mobilized. Of course, they knew everything, what is going to happen, who is in the right path and who is in the side of Dharma, who is in the side of Adharma. But
Dharma.
externally, they felt obligation. And he
Right.
said that Arjuna, I am getting the money from Duryodhana. So in this point of danger, if I do not join him, it does not look
Right.
well. I am getting financial maintenance.
Right.
So this is very important.
Right.
In our daily life also, however difficult situation one may be, we should not accept any kind of benefit from a non-devotee or in a materialistic person.
Right.
Then what happens? We become obliged to them in their wrongdoing.
Right.
Of course, Arjuna did not ask, Dronacharya or Bhishmadeva why they are taking the side of Duryodhana.
Right.
Arjuna was fully satisfied with Krishna. That's all.
Right.
In fact, Krishna also divided himself because the entire arrangement is the quarrel is among the family members.
Right.
So he said, I cannot take part with anyone. And even if I take a part at one side of any of
Right.
you, I shall not fight. Personally, I will not fight. Directly, I shall not fight and did not lift any weapon.
Right.
And maybe on your side or the other side, doesn't matter. But I will not fight.
Right.
This was communicated to Arjuna. Arjuna was satisfied. Arjuna said, that is
Right.
all right. In order to satisfy Arjuna, Krishna says, okay, I will not fight, but I can become a charioteer for you. I
Right.
shall drive your chariot. So in this way, the battle was arranged.
Right.
And Dhritarashtra inquired, Kim akruvata Sanjaya? Kim akurvata Sanjaya? What did they do? That is the question asked by Dhritarashtra to Sanjaya. He said,
Right.
Sir, don't be disappointed. There is no compromise. Immediately, your son, after seeing the military arrangement of the Pandavas, he was surprised and immediately he went to Dronacharya.
Acharya.
Dronacharya is a commander-in-chief appointed first.
Right.
And so Duryodhana went to Dronacharya and is asking, what to do. Rajavachanam abravit. And he began to speak, to inform Dronacharya. What is he saying? So intelligently, this Drupada, the son of Drupada, he was meant for killing Dronacharya.
Right.
Drupada Maharaja
Right.
was not in good terms with Dronacharya.
Right.
So he performed a yajna to get a son who could kill Dronacharya.
Oh.
That son is Drupada. So Dronacharya knew that Drupada Maharaja has got his
Right.
son, and that son, in future, he would kill him. He knew
Right.
that. Still, when he was offered to become his disciple, Drupada
Right.
Maharaj sent his son to become a disciple of Dronacharya. And Dronacharya
Right.
knows that, he's burned specifically to kill him.
Right.
Even then, after knowing also, Dronacharya accepted Drupada's son, Drishtadumna,
Right.
as his disciple.
Right.
And he taught him military art, which he is going to use against him to kill him.
Right.
See, that is the disposition of a Brahmana.
Hmm.
That means the Brahmanas were so liberal. He
Right.
knows that, this person is going to kill me. He just exclusively burned to kill him. There's no other purpose
Right.
for Drishtadumna's appearance. He
Right.
burned to just kill Dronacharya.
Right.
And he came to Dronacharya asking
As
him
it
to
is.
do the military art.
Right.
See. And Dronacharya did not refuse it. He accepted it.
Right.
That is a Brahmana's liberalness.
Right.
And Dronacharya says in one particular time in a conversation, he says that when he is coming as my disciple, never mind.
Right.
He would kill me in future. That doesn't matter. But I must
Right.
give. That's why here the word, Dhimata word is used in this verse. Very intelligent.
Right.
Now here, see, Duryodhana is using the word Dhimata.
Dhimata.
Dhimata means very intelligent. He's saying that,
ప్రభుజీ
yes,
ఇదే క్లాస్ లోనండి జాయిన్ అయ్యేది ఇది
yes,
ఈ
ma'am.
టైంలోనేనండి
Yes, ma'am.
ఓకే అండి
No. For you, మీకు ఇది క్లాస్ కాదు మాతాజీ. రేపు మీరు జాయిన్ అవ్వాల్సి.
రేపా అండి ఇప్పుడు
Yes.
ఈ క్లాస్ అని చెప్తుందా అనిత ఇప్పుడు అడిగాను అనిత అంటున్నాను ఆ మాతాజీ చెప్పారు ఇప్పుడు
Okay.
జాయిన్ అయిపోండి అంటే ఇప్పుడు జాయిన్ అవుతున్నాను ఇదే అనుకుని
లేదు మాతాజీ.
సరే అండి సరే వీళ్ళకి చెప్తున్నారండి ఇప్పుడు ప్రభుజీ
Yes, మాతాజీ.
అదే వాళ్ళకి మాలలు కూడా రెడీ చేశానండి రేపు
Yeah, మాతాజీ,
మార్నింగ్
మనం దాని గురించి తర్వాత మాట్లాడదామా? క్లాస్ కంటిన్యూ చేద్దామా?
సరేనండి కంటిన్యూషన్
Thank you.
చేసేయండి ఓకే ఓకే
Yeah. So Duryodhana is, reminding Dronacharya that he has learned the military science to kill you.
Right.
Dhimata tava shishyena. Your disciple. He is arranged such a nice arrangement of, soldiers. Yeah.
Right.
He's pointing out that.
Right.
He wanted to generate anger in Dronacharya so that, he become furious to fight
Right.
against them.
Right.
And he wanted to make Dronacharya think that, this rascal has learned the art of military science from me and he wanted to kill me. But see, Dronacharya did not become angry. He knows that, duty is a duty. After
Right.
all, everyone will die. Nobody will exist. So
Right.
nobody should be afraid of the death. This is the Vedic civilization. Death is inevitable. Everybody
Right.
has to leave this body. Doesn't matter whatever the position one may be in this material world, everybody has to live. And Dronacharya knows
Right.
this very well. So the death is so sure that, if you wanted to say something with a complete assurance, you say that, what I'm saying is as sure as death.
Right.
Death is such a certain thing that everybody has to go through it.
Right.
Who can avoid death? So being afraid of death, we should not deviate from our duties.
Right.
Our real duty, we should not give up our real duty. That is Vedic civilization.
Right.
But Duryodhana, being materially contaminated with the bodily concept of life is concerned, he is thinking that, if he can generate anger, if I remind
Right.
Dronacharya about the fact that, this boy, your disciple, is burned
Yes,
to kill
indeed.
you.
Right.
And now he is here arranging against you such a nice military strength.
Right.
And he's remaining that, he's meant for killing you.
Right.
And where did he learn the art of, arranging such a nice military arrangement? From you.
Right. Yeah.
That's why he's using the word dhimata.
Dhimata.
Dhi means intelligence.
Intelligent.
Dhimata, word dhimata means
Dhimata.
intelligence and one who possesses intelligence. Dhi means intelligence. Mat means who possesses.
Okay. Okay. Yes, Guruji.
Aste arte mata pratyaya. When one possesses something, in
Right.
this sense, pratyaya. In the Sanskrit, there are pratyaya. So
Pratyaya.
mata pratyaya. From mata, it comes the mat. Sanskrit language means it is so reformed language that each
Right.
and every word has a peculiar significance. Not like our other languages, natural languages like English or other languages. Because
Right.
in other natural languages which you call, every word has a multiple meanings. We have to derive the
Right.
meaning of the word based on the context.
Context.
But Sanskrit has a so peculiar, specific, reformed language that every word you can express in Sanskrit your feelings.
Right.
We may say that, yeah, I can express my feelings in all the languages, but the context is very important in the many languages. In the Sanskrit, actually, the way you pronounce it, you can
Right.
express your inner
Feelings.
feelings by words.
Right.
So, Srila Prabhupada explains many a times the difference between the language English and Sanskrit.
Right.
Here he's trying to explain the word dhimata.
Dhimata.
Dhimata means one who possesses intelligence.
Intelligence.
Actually, in Sanskrit, the meaning of Sanskrit, Samskrita means reform.
Reform.
The alphabets are called Devanagari. The Sanskrit language is written in Devanagari.
Revatinandan.
Devanagari is the alphabet used for writing a Sanskrit language.
Okay.
Just like in the Europe, we use Roman, right? Roman letters.
Right.
Similarly, if you understand in Vedic scriptures, we'll get to know that upper planetary systems, the alphabets used are Devanagari.
Devanagari.
In the cities of demigods, Devanagari.
Devanagari.
Nagari means the cities. Deva means demigods. Devanagari means the language used in the cities of demigods. And the
Okay.
language is called Samskrita, most
Samskrita.
reformed. And the Sanskrit is actually mother of all languages. And in this planet, see, the Latin also derived from Sanskrit.
Oh,
For instance, you say that maternal.
maternal.
It is derived from the matru shabda.
Matrusha.
Paternal. You call these two words are English words, right? Maternal and paternal. They call that that is derived from Latin. In fact, the Latin itself is derived from Sanskrit.
That's
Paternal is Pitru Shabda. So
Trusha.
Devata, so here Vasudeva is writing very nicely. Dhimata.
Dhimata.
Every word is selective word in scriptures. Either in Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam or Puranas or Vedas. All writings, including Mahabharata, each and every word is used just like a weighing in the balance. Every word that is used, the scriptures has a particular meaning, and how much weight it has to have. As we talked about, Sanskrit language has a peculiar quality of expressing your feelings by words. So, one should not use the words whimsically. That's a very, very important in Sanskrit.
Right.
That is not allowed. Samskara Sahitya.
Agastya.
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was hearing Keshav Kashmiri, this is actually
Right.
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Yuga Avatar. Krishna himself appeared as a Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in this age of Kali to propagate Yuga Dharma. There are 4 yugas, right? Everybody who
Right.
is born in India, some point in time, they must have heard about these yugas. Satya Yuga,
Right.
Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, and Kali Yuga.
Kali
And in
Yuga.
every yuga, the ultimate goal of human form of life is to get out of cycle of birth and death. Birth, death, old age, and disease. The purpose of human form, see, we are the living entity, we are not this body. As a living entity, we transmigrate from one body to other body, other body to other body. Death means basically the physical body which you are seeing by ourselves is destroyed. When the spirit soul leaves the body, that we call it as a death. And when that spirit soul leaves this body, spirit soul doesn't die. It's eternal. So what happens to that spirit soul? It transmigrates to other body, depending on what kind of the desires that spirit soul has at the time of leaving this body. That is the reason it's a very important. In fact, the scriptures very clearly mentions spirit soul has an opportunity to liberate itself from the cycle of birth and death when it acquires the human form. See, the animals, they do not know, they cannot sit together and discuss Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam or understand the Vedic scriptures. But a living entity, when it gets the human form, he has ability to discuss, analyze things, and make decisions. And that's why the higher intelligence is given to living entity when it takes a human form. And human life is meant to, the goal of human life is to get out of this cycle of birth and death. And to preach this message. This is there in every yuga. It's not just in Kali Yuga. Whether one is born in Satya Yuga or Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga or Kali Yuga. In every yuga, every time, when a living entity takes the human form, only duty is to get out of the cycle of birth and death. As far as, Ahara Nitra Bhaim, eating, sleeping, mating, and defending is concerned, all species will do it. Starting from ant to elephant. Any species that you take, they all do it. They all eat, they all sleep, they all defend, they all mate.
Right.
The human being also doing exactly the same thing, nothing else but the same thing. then there
Right.
is no difference between the human being and anyone. This is what scriptures very specifically emphasizes on. Understanding that the goal of life is very, very fundamental to existence of human being, existent as a human being. We were talking about other day, last 2 days, Chandrasekhar Prabhu, you're asking, did we
Yes.
do anything wrong to go
Right.
through this kind of situation?
Yes,
I was
Guruji.
thinking that, one thing that, not only you, but, all of us do one mistake.
Right.
That, what is that? We don't learn scriptures in the early age of our life, and we don't teach that to our children. That's a major
Right.
mistake that we make across the globe, especially one who is taken birth in India. There are
Right.
all no Vedic scriptures. Because of the modern civilization, the way of life is concerned, we'll forget our goal of life, why the human being is given this particular form. And we tend to go along with the flow, the material mode of life,
Right.
and we'll forget about it. This is exactly, the mistake that we make. And Bhagavad Gita
Right.
reminds us, how one need to lead their life and achieve the ultimate goal of life. It's a very, very, very important fundamental thing that, for understand that, first of all, we need to understand that we are not this body, we are spirit, soul. Unless we understand that, we are not this body, spirit, soul, we don't put any endeavor to deliver ourselves. If the people think, the body is ultimate in itself, then obviously the individual wanted to find a means of enjoying this material body. But reality is not that. Reality is we are not this body. It's
Right.
not that, when somebody is met with a death, everything is end. No. Actually,
Right.
the death means for a human form of life, death means actually an examination, a test.
Right.
The entire life is, given to us for preparation at the time of death, what exactly we are going to do.
Right.
The human form of life, once you learn in the Vedic scriptures, you understand the goal of life, then what do they do? What do the person do? Engage in the devotional service.
Right.
Krishna. We are not this body, we are spirit soul. Aham Brahmasmi. Aham Brahmasmi means I'm not this material body, but spirit soul. As a spirit soul, what is my duty? Where am I coming from? Krishna says that, Aham sarvasya prabhu matta sarva pravartate. Krishna says in Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita also, he explains that everything is emanating from me, including yourself. All jivas, all living entities are emanating from Krishna, part and parcel of Krishna. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, I am seed-giving Father. All living entities are part and parcel of Krishna. Being part and parcel of Krishna, Krishna is Sachidananda Vigraha, is eternal. Sat, Chit, Ananda. Sat means eternity. Chit means complete knowledge. Ananda means full of happiness. These are the three components by which Krishna is made up of. And we, being the part and parcel of Krishna, also made up of the same components. Krishna is eternal, we are also eternal. Krishna is full of knowledge. We have knowledge, but not in full. Satchit Ananda, we are also meant for enjoyment, to be happy all the time. But our existence becomes viable and meaningful when it is associated with Krishna. When you separate from Krishna and then we are trying to enjoy independent of Krishna, we are suffering. The reason for our suffering is that we're forgotten Krishna. This is the verdict of scriptures.
Right.
And Krishna comes onto this material world to remind his children how they are suffering, forgetting about their father. यदा यदा हि धर्मस्य ग्लानिर्भवति भारत अभ्युत्थानम् धर्मस्य लोक्यानां सुजाम्यहम् पवित्राणाय साधूनां विनाशाय च दुष्कृतां धर्म संस्थापनार्थाय संभवामि युगे युगे. Dharma, it's explained. We'll learn about the definition of dharma down the line. Dharma means the quality of a thing or a person. That's the inherent quality of a thing or person is called dharma. Like sugar has a sweetness as an internal quality. We cannot separate sweetness from sugar.
Right.
And the water has an inherent quality of liquidity. We cannot separate liquidity from the water. If the water loses its liquidity, we give it some other name. We will call it as ice, right?
Right.
Or if it evaporates, it becomes like a gaseous state. But the water inherently has a quality of liquidity. It's a liquid form. Similarly, sugar has a sweetness as an internal quality. That is called dharma. Similarly, the living entity has its dharma, internal quality. That is to be the servant of Krishna. Jivera Swarupe Nitya Krishna Das. Eternally, the living entity is a servant of Krishna. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appears in this material world, is Krishna himself. Radha and Krishna together is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He appears in the material world, especially in Kali Yuga, to preach dharma of this age, Kali Yuga. What is the dharma of Kali Yuga? It's mentioned in Kali Sankarana Upanishad and all other Vedic scriptures, even in Srimad Bhagavatam. Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama Eva Kevalam Kaleu Nasteva, Nasteva, Nasteva Gatirenyada. In Kali Yuga, only yajna or dharma that need to be performed is chanting of the holy name. See, it's mentioned 3 times in the verse. Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama Eva Kevalam. That's the only way.
Okay.
Nasteva, Nasteva, Nasteva. There is no other way, no other way, no other way. See, we use any word 3 times to stress upon or to exhibit its importance, to get an attention.
Right.
So to establish this dharma, to preach this dharma to the human society, Krishna appeared as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in this age of Kali. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu performed many pastimes, like Krishna has performed many pastimes, leelas. And one of those situations is where he meets a great scholar called Keshav Kashmiri. And when he meets Keshav Kashmiri, he was a very great scholar of Vedic sciences.
Yeah.
And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he meets Keshav Kashmiri, he was a small child. But he was born in Navadvipa in Bengal right now. The place is in Bengal, West Bengal. Navadvipa, he appears in Navadvipa. When he appeared in Navadvipa, just about 555 years ago, it's not too far ago. And that time, it used to be a place of learning, place of wisdom. Many scholars used to live there. So, Keshav Kashmiri comes there to the scholars. Vedic scholars has a tendency to be recognized across the globe that, they are the great scholars of Vedic sciences. In order to be established, they travel different parts of the world, and whomever is a scholar in the particular province, they get with them some kind of an argument and a discussion, and they prove themselves superior than them, and they get a certificate saying that, yes, I'm defeated. This provision is defeated by this man, and he's a scholar. So that's why, these people, Keshav Kashmiri, came to Navadvipa and he was exhibiting his scholarship. In order to exhibit his scholarship, he composes spontaneously the poems
Right.
appreciating Shiva.
Shiva.
And in that, he mentions Bhavani Bharta. He composes poems like, whirlwind. So spontaneously, he's continuously speaking that, those verses. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is quietly hearing without speaking anything. And then, after he's completed his, more than 100 verses, and then, Keshav Kashmiri asks, do you understand what I'm speaking? Because you did not speak a word about it. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, yes, I'm hearing, but, in a particular verse, in a 66th verse and a second line, use the word Bhavani Bharta. That means, your language is not perfect. Bhavani Bharta, Bhavani itself means wife of Shiva, and you said Bhavani Bharta. It is redundant. And he immediately criticized and said that, you are defeated because, you did not use the language right. So Sanskrit language is so nice. And it has to be used, very perfectly. And each word has a peculiar meaning. So here in this verse also, it's mentioned that Pashaitam Panduputranam. Acharya Pashaitam Panduputranam. My dear teacher, just see how many military soldiers are standing there on behalf of Pandavas. They have been arranged by your disciple who is meant for killing you. So just remember. That means you become more strong that this boy and the other party may not kill you. But Duryodhana does not know that the death does not depend on military strength or a bodily strength. When death will come, nobody can check it. Death is actually God himself. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, I am the death. And Krishna desires that this man should be killed now or he must die now. Nobody can check it. Rake Krishna Marika, Mare Krishna Rakika. If Krishna desires to kill somebody, nobody can give him protection. No power in the entire universe can protect him. And if he wants to save somebody, nobody can kill him. This is Krishna's protection. Therefore, this big commander-in-chief, Dronacharya and Bhishma Deva, Karna, they are very big, very powerful commanders, no doubt about it. In fact, Arjuna is much inferior in front of the strength of these people. Parikshit Maharaj, who is a grandson of Arjuna, he compared Arjuna with other warriors. He says that my grandfather was just like an ordinary fish, and all these soldiers and commanders are just like Timingala.
Oh.
Timingala is a very big fish, right?
Right.
You get the information from Vedic literature. Timingala is sometimes even 100 feet long. They swallow the other big whales.
Right.
Timi means actually whale fish. And Timingala means just like a small fish. Timingala means swallow the bigger fishes.
Oh.
Just imagine how big such a fish is. And he is comparing other commanders to equivalent of those Timingalas. Karna, Dronacharya, Bhishma, all are compared with Timingalas. And Arjuna, although he is very powerful, he is compared with Timi, a small fish.
Yes.
Parikshit Maharaj admits that, it is not possible for his grandfather to win over the battle before these big commanders unless he has a support from Krishna. It is only the grace of Krishna he was saved. So the conclusion is, if Krishna saves, nobody can kill. And if Krishna wants to kill, nobody can save. So our conclusion should be, we should always be under protection of Krishna. Avashya Rakshibe Krishna. This is Sharanagati. Sharanagati means surrender. Surrender means that I am surrendering to Krishna with full faith, and he is quite competent to be able to give me complete protection. This is called surrender. Not that with a hesitation, like, oh, I will surrender to Krishna, and in case of danger, he may not be able to give me protection. That is not surrender.
Right.
Surrender means with a complete faith, full faith. Yes, Krishna is powerful and Krishna is so great that I am surrendering to Krishna from this day. From this day I surrender to Krishna. I am wandering, in this material world from one body to other body in this universe, life after life without knowing purpose of my life and without knowing my relationship with Krishna. Hey Krishna, now I understand that my relationship with you, now I surrender to you. Kindly accept me and engage me in your service. This consciousness, this type of thinking is called surrender. It's not just thinking, but practically this need to be adopted into our life. This is actually the purport of Bhagavad Gita. It's very, very important for us to understand that, human form of life is completely different from other species. There is 84 lakh species of life that we learn about it in future. In Bhagavad Gita itself, it is going to be explained. Out of which there is a 4 lakh species of life, which is a human form of life. See, that means, there is a 5% of the species which are human beings. In categorization, it's not a number, but a categorization. There's 84 lakhs of different species of life. Out of which there's a 5%, there's a 4 lakhs of species, which types of species that belongs to human forms. That means there's a 5% of the species that belongs to human category. Imagine a situation, a living entity, a spirit soul, is transmigrating from one body to other body to other body. Since time immemorial, we don't know when it is started. And I don't even know when it is going to end, unless, we completely surrender to Krishna. When we get the form of a human form, then we are going to fall into the clutches of Maya and, get into some other body. And this cycle is going on since time immemorial. We don't know how many times we have circulated this 84 lakh species. One may ask, why shouldn't I circulate it? What is the problem? We are seeing that. We are, as a living entity, we wanted to be happy. But when you are leading a material life in a material body, we won't be happy. It is a fact.
Right.
Day in and day out, we come across so many tribulations. All these tribulations are going to be completely mitigated when you go back to our constitutional position, which is being in association of Supreme Lord Krishna. Bhagavad Gita teaches us how to get to that point and achieve the goal of life.
Right.
For that to understand that, we were talking about it yesterday also. There's 4 fundamental regulatory principles that we need to follow. The first thing is Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atma Nivedam. These are 9 types of devotional services. And it starts with Shravanam, that means hearing. Hearing about what? Hearing about
Bhagavad.
personality of Godhead, Krishna, Bhagavad Gita. And when you hear about it, then what happens? We think about it, right? Whatever we hear, we think about the same thing. If you hear about Krishna, you start thinking about Krishna. When you keep thinking about Krishna, you're talking about Krishna. That means Smarana Kirtana will also follow when you hear it. And the principles given to be in Krishna consciousness is chanting of the holy name. That's the first thing that it is given. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare.
The very, very fundamental thing. When you chant the holy name of Krishna, and then consequently when you read Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam, it becomes much more easier to understand it. Because Shastras or Vedic scriptures are not understood by reading. Vedic scriptures are revealed within the heart by Krishna himself. Vedesha Durlabham Adurlabham Atma Bhakto. The truth cannot be understood by reading just Vedas.
Right.
Truth can be understood by engaging ourselves in the service of Krishna. And the service of Krishna starts with chanting of his holy name. First of all, hearing about him, and then chanting his holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. That's why Srila Prabhupada, who is he's a Acharya coming in disciplic succession.
Right.
He gives us, how to follow the instructions of Krishna. Very practical manner. He is given instructions of Krishna translated into the rules that need to be adopted in our life. One is chanting of the holy name. He says that at least 16 rounds of chanting has to be done. If you chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra once, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare is a one mantra. And if you chant this for 108 times, that becomes one mala, japamala. And one is supposed to chant 16 such japamalas every day without fail. And one is supposed to eat only food that is offered to Krishna, nothing else. Anything that you eat, that should be offered to Krishna. And what do Krishna take? Patram pushpam phalam omi bhaktas pranashyati. Krishna takes a vegetarian food. He doesn't eat anything non-vegetarian. So we have to offer what Krishna eats. And that is, we have to partake in that, what we offer to Krishna. Right. As a prasadam. And every day, read Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, hear Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam analytically. If we do these things, it's rest assured, Krishna assures that we'll achieve success in this life itself. That means, achieve the goal of life. That is getting out of the clutches of Maya, that is, getting out of the cycle of birth and death. This is the purport of Bhagavad Gita. So here we'll stop it. Anybody has any questions, comments, or corrections, or anything?
Everything is clear, Guruji.
Very nice. So we should not be worried too much about, the things that are happening. It's a natural that in the material world, if something goes wrong, because we are not completely pure to think in the consciousness of, what it is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita. But we'll come to that point. But distress comes because of, not knowing things as they are, right?
Right.
So when you understand that, automatically you will get strength. You truly understand that, what happens, what is a living entity, and what is a Supreme Lord, and what is the relationship with the living entity and Supreme Lord. And why am I here? Why am I suffering? What's a way to get out of this suffering? What is the meaning of death? What exactly happens? When somebody is dead, means what happens? All that, if you understand it, then we can adopt the principles of Bhagavad Gita and Krishna consciousness and surrender to Krishna. That means we can perfect our life and achieve the goal of life, human form of life.
Right.
So,
we have started chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Regularly we start chanting daily basis.
Very nice, Chandrasekhar Prabhu. And Nagamani Mataji was saying the same thing. She's going to get some bead bags and beads to you. That's what she's communicating. She communicated to me yesterday also. She said that, she's going to go to the temple tomorrow or meet some people and get those 2 malas and give it to you tomorrow, I think. Tomorrow sometime.
That's what she told us, and she wanted her daughter-in-law also to be joining this discourse. Probably she'll be requesting you to admit her in this discourse.
Yes. She's actually attended in a Hindi class yesterday. I'm not sure whether she attended in a Hindi class today, but she attended yesterday. Her name is Hema, I think. Hema or Hema, I think.
Correct, Guruji. Correct, Guruji. Yeah. We have started communicating through Krishna to our grandchildren.
Very
I'm
nice.
sure
Very nice.
the of Krishna, chanting of his thing,
Yes.
will be made.
Don't worry.
Happy.
See, we all are under the protection of Krishna. So the external people may be there that, in a form of your daughter-in-law or, somebody else and somebody else. But ultimately, we are all belongs to Krishna and we're all in the protection of Krishna.
Right.
So to invoke Krishna's attention towards us is to engage ourselves in devotional service. That which you are doing, that's very nice.
Yes, Guruji.
One more. Tomorrow also at 1:30, you'll be calling me, Guruji.
I don't know exactly what time. I just thought of calling. I told you right yesterday. I'm going to call today. So that is the time I got, and I call you. You want me to call at a particular time? I'll make sure that I'll call you at the time.
No, the ringing sound is very feeble.
Okay. All right. No problem.
Sometimes it.
1 p.m. if it is okay, it is okay with us, Guruji.
Yeah, that's fine. 1 p.m. of your time means it's about 4 p.m. for me. I will call you. That's fine.
If it is okay with you, Guruji, it is
perfect.
Okay.
No problem. I will do that.
Yes.
Very nice.
Yes, Guruji.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
If nobody has any questions, Hare Krishna.
Hare
Jagat Guru
Krishna, Hare
Srila
Krishna.
Prabhupada ki jai. Harinama Sankirtan ki jai. Samavaita Bhakta Brind ki jai. Kantra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Thank you very much, Mataji and Prabhuji. Given me opportunity to discuss Prabhupada's.
Hare Rama.
Thank you very much.
Rama. Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Hare Hare Bol. Thank you.
Hare.
Mataji. Mataji and Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.